My hand is shaking so hard I can barely get the key into the lock. Come on, come on. The metal scrapes, misses, scrapes again. I finally shove it home and twist, throwing my shoulder against the thick wood. It bursts open and I stumble into the dark apartment, slamming it shut behind me and fumbling for the deadbolt. Click. I lean my forehead against the cool door, my heart trying to punch its way out of my chest. I can still hear the echo of my own footsteps in the empty parking garage, too loud, too fast. I think I lost him. I think I'm safe. Okay, breathe, just breathe. I'm Alex, I'm 28, and I'm in my apartment on the 4th floor. It's mine, or it's supposed to be my safe place. I force myself to turn around, my back against the door, and scan the living room. Street light from the window cuts a pale, silent path across my rug. Everything is exactly as I left it this morning. My coffee mug on the table, my laptop on the couch, the throw blanket crumpled where I'd been working. Normal, so normal it makes the panic in my throat taste even more sour. This isn't a movie. This is my life and someone is in it who shouldn't be. It started with the car. A gray sedan, nondescript. I saw it 3 days ago outside my office. Then yesterday at the grocery store. Tonight, in my rearview mirror the whole way home from the library. I took a stupid, impulsive detour, a sharp right into the multi-story garage downtown instead of coming straight here just to see. He followed. He followed me into the concrete maze, and for a few terrifying minutes it was just the two of us, winding up and down the levels. I ducked behind a pillar, killed my lights, and watched his slow cruise pass by. Then I got out and ran, my bag thumping against my side, all the way here 6 blocks in the dark. I'm safe. I'm inside. My phone buzzes in my hand, making me jump so badly I almost drop it. A notification lights up the screen. It's from Mark, my boyfriend. The text is simple, way too simple for the cold dread that immediately pools in my stomach. You home? Why is he asking? He knows my schedule. He knows I was at the library. He should be at his own place, an hour away, probably playing video games with his roommate. I stare at the 2 words. My thumb hovers over the screen. Do I tell him? Do I say someone followed me, that I'm scared, that I'm standing in my dark apartment trying not to cry? Before I can decide, another text comes through. Thought I saw your car downtown. Everything okay? The air leaves my lungs in a rush. No. Mark is supposed to be at his apartment, an hour away. He has no reason to be downtown near that garage. Unless. My mind races, tripping over the last week. Him being unusually curious about my evening plans. Asking which library branch I liked. The casual, what's your plate number again? For the parking app at my building. I'd told him everything. I type back, my fingers clumsy with fear. Yeah, I'm home. Why were you downtown? The 3 little dots appear, they bounce, they stop, they start again. A full minute passes, each second stretching out, filled with the sound of my own ragged breathing. The reply comes. No reason, just driving around, clearing my head. Driving around. In a gray sedan, Mark drives a blue Jeep. He loves that stupid Jeep, but his roommate has a gray Toyota. I've been in it. I know the feel of the cracked leather seat, the smell of old fast food. Oh God, a new notification pops up, this time from my building's security app. Motion detected, main entrance lobby. I tap it and a grainy black and white video feed loads. The timestamp shows 2 minutes ago. The lobby is empty. Then the exterior door opens. A figure steps in, head down, hood up. He doesn't go to the keypad for the other apartments. He walks straight to the interior door that leads to the stairs and the elevators, to my floor. He pulls out a key fob, my tenant's key fob, he swipes it. The light goes green, the door unlocks. The figure looks up at the camera just before he pushes through, as if he knows I'm watching. It's Mark. His face is calm, blank, completely unlike the smiling guy who brought me soup when I was sick last month. His eyes seem to look right through the lens, right at me. My phone buzzes again in my hand, a new text. Actually, let me in, we need to talk. I don't text back, I can't. My fingers are frozen, he's in the building. He used a key fob. My mind is screaming, a single word on a loop. How? How does he have a fob? I gave him a spare key for the apartment door months ago for emergencies, but not a building fob. Tenants get those. He shouldn't have one. The security app on my phone refreshes. A new alert. Motion detected, 4th floor hallway. I switch to the live feed. The camera angle is at the far end, looking toward the elevator and the stairwell door. The stairwell door is just swinging shut. And there he is. Mark. He's standing there, hands in his pockets, looking right at my door. Apartment 403. He knows. Of course he knows. He's been here 100 times. He starts walking, slow and deliberate, down the hall. His footsteps are silent on the carpet in the video, but in my head I can hear them. Thump, thump, thump. My breath is coming in short, sharp gasps. I need to move. Now, I bolt from the door, my socks slipping on the floor. My phone, I need my phone. It's still clutched in my hand. Think, Alex, think. Call the police. Yes, I swipe, my thumb slipping on the screen. 9, 1, my thumb hovers over the second one. A sound stops me cold. A key. A key sliding into the deadbolt of my apartment door. The scrape of metal is the loudest thing I've ever heard. He's using the spare key, the one I gave him, the one I never asked for back. I duck into the short hallway that leads to my bedroom and bathroom, pressing my back against the wall. I can see a sliver of the living room and the front door from here. The deadbolt turns with a heavy, final clunk. The knob turns. The door begins to open. Alex, Mark's voice calls out. It's calm, friendly, normal. It's the voice that told me he loved me last weekend. You in here? Lights are off. I don't answer, I can't. My throat is sealed shut. I watch as his silhouette fills the doorway, backlit by the dim hallway light behind him. He steps inside and pushes the door closed behind him. It doesn't latch. He leaves it slightly ajar. A way out, or a way for someone else to come in? He flicks the light switch by the door. The overhead light in the living room blazes on, harsh and sudden. I flinch back into the shadows. He stands there looking around. He sees my coffee mug, my laptop. His eyes scan the room and they pass right over my hiding spot. He hasn't seen me yet. Come on, Al, he says, a slight laugh in his voice. It's all wrong. I know you're here, your car's downstairs. I just want to talk. Talk, the word from his text. My mind is racing, piecing together the jagged edges of this nightmare. The gray sedan. Him following me, him being downtown, him having a fob. This isn't a surprise visit. This is a hunt, and I'm the prey cornered in my own den. He takes a few steps into the room towards my couch. He picks up a throw pillow, absently straightens it, and puts it back down. The casualness of it is terrifying. I saw you run from the garage, he says, his voice dropping, losing the fake cheer. You shouldn't run from me, Alex. It makes things complicated. Complicated. The word hangs in the air, thick and threatening. My fingers are cramping around my phone. I slowly, so slowly, lower my hand and press the side button, silencing it. The last thing I need is a notification sound giving me away. He turns, and his gaze lands on the hallway where I'm hiding. He can't see me, but he knows. He knows the layout of my apartment as well as I do. We really do need to talk, he says, starting to walk toward me. It's about your mom. My mom. The mention of her is like a physical blow. She lives 3 states away. She's sick. She has early-stage dementia. Mark Espin, sweet about it, asking about her, offering to help with bills. A new, colder fear grips me, colder than anything I felt in the garage. What about my mom? The words tear out of me before I can stop them. My voice is a dry croak. He stops walking. A smile spreads across his face, but it doesn't reach his eyes. They're flat like stones. There you are. I knew you were listening. He takes another step closer. I'm trapped. Behind me is my bedroom and a window 4 stories up. In front of me is Mark, blocking the way to the front door. She's fine, for now, but managing her affairs. Power of attorney, medical directives, all that. It's a lot for you to handle alone, especially with everything else. What are you talking about? I whisper. He pulls out his own phone, taps the screen a few times, and holds it up. It's a photo of a document. I squint. It's hard to see from this distance, but I recognize the letterhead. It's from the law firm I hired 6 months ago to update my will and help with my mom's guardianship paperwork. My will, the one that leaves everything to my mom, and if she's unable, to a trust for her care. The one Mark isn't on, the one he asked about casually a few weeks ago. I told him it was just old paperwork, nothing to worry about. You lied to me, Alex, he says softly, putting his phone away. You said you hadn't done any estate planning, but you did. You cut me out after everything, after all I've done for you. That's mine, I say, my voice shaking. That's private. How did you? My laptop. The realization hits me like ice water, my laptop. He's used it here before when his was charging. He must have seen the files. He must have gone looking. I was curious, he shrugs. A guy wants to know where he stands, and I stand nowhere, apparently, but your mom. She stands to inherit your life insurance. This apartment, your savings, and she's not exactly in a position to manage it, is she? The court would appoint someone, a guardian, maybe even a concerned, loving boyfriend who's been so supportive. The world tilts. This isn't about me scaring him by running. This isn't even about us breaking up. This is about my death. He's been planning for my death. The following, the key fob, the calm, terrifying patience. It's all been leading here, to my apartment, tonight. You're insane, I breathe. I'm practical, he corrects, taking the final step that brings him to the mouth of the hallway. He's close enough now that I can see the fine stubble on his jaw, the familiar curve of his mouth that I used to kiss. it's a stranger's face. It doesn't have to be hard, Alex. You have a history of being fragile. Since your dad died, depression, anxiety, everyone knows it. It wouldn't be a surprise if you stepped off a balcony or took too many pills. A tragedy. And I'd be right here, heartbroken, ready to help your poor, confused mother through it all. He reaches out a hand toward me. It's not a violent gesture, it's almost gentle. Or, he says, his voice a low, reasonable murmur. We can do this the easy way. You can update those documents. Tonight, make me the beneficiary, make me the executor. We can even get married. Quick, quiet, then everything stays simple and safe. The easy way, a lifetime shackled to him. A signature that signs away my life just as surely as a fall from the balcony. My back is literally against the wall. The front door is still slightly ajar, maybe 15 feet away past him. My phone is a useless brick in my hand unless I can call for help. The window behind me is sealed shut, painted over by a lazy landlord. Mark sees my eyes dart toward the front door. His pleasant expression hardens. Don't, he says, the word sharp as a knife. The easy way, Alex, or the hard way. Your choice, but you're choosing now. He moves to block the hallway exit completely, his body filling the space. The choice is an illusion. There is no easy way. There is only him in my home with his plans laid out like a spider's web and me finally seeing the full, horrifying shape of it. I am not getting out of this hallway unless I go through him. The easy way or the hard way. His words hang in the air between us, a poisonous choice. My back is pressed so hard against the wall I can feel the drywall give a little. I can't go through him. He's bigger, stronger, and he's planned for this, but I don't have to go through him. My eyes flick past him to the living room, to the front door he left slightly ajar. It's my only exit. He sees the glance and shifts his weight, ready to grab me if I run. He thinks I'm cornered. He thinks I'm scared. I am. My heart is a frantic drum against my ribs, my palms are slick with sweat. But under the terror, a cold, clear thought cuts through. He's made one mistake. He's so sure of his plan, of my fear, that he's treating me like a thing to be managed, not a person who can fight back. The easy way, I say, my voice barely a whisper. I let my shoulders slump, my head drop, I look defeated. Just don't hurt me. His posture relaxes just a fraction, a flicker of satisfaction in those flat eyes. Smart girl, he murmurs. We'll get it done right now, on your laptop. Then we can move forward. He steps aside just enough to give me a path out of the hallway and into the living room. He expects me to shuffle past him broken. I take one step, then another, my head still down, my whole body screaming with tension. As I pass him, my shoulder almost brushes his chest. He's reaching for my arm, a controlling, possessive gesture. Now, I don't run for the door. He catch me in 2 steps. Instead, I pivot on my heel, putting all my weight into it, and I drive my knee up hard, aiming for where I hope it will hurt the most. It's not a perfect hit, but it connects with his thigh, high and inside. He grunts, more in surprise than pain, and his grip loosens. You little, he snarls, but I'm already moving. I shove past him, not toward the front door, but toward the kitchen, which opens off the living room. He stumbles after me off balance. My mind is a single, sharp point. The knife block, it's on the counter by the sink. I lunge for it, my fingers closing around the handle of the biggest one, the chef's knife, just as his hand closes on the back of my shirt. I spin, the knife held out in front of me, a barrier of shining steel. I don't swing it. I just hold it there, point toward him, my arms shaking. Get out, I say, and my voice is raw, but it doesn't shake. He stops, his eyes wide, fixed on the blade. He lets go of my shirt. Alex, put that down. You're being hysterical. I'm being sane. I shout, the sound tearing from my throat. You followed me, you broke into my home, you talked about my death like it's a business transaction. Get out. He holds up his hands, a placating gesture, but his eyes are calculating. He's measuring the distance between us, the weapon in my hand. You're not thinking clearly. Put the knife down and we can still do this the easy way. Sign the papers. No one gets hurt. The easy way. My life, my mother's life, handed over to him. A different kind of death. The knife feels solid, real in my hand. It's not a solution, but it's a pause button. I need more than a pause. Keeping the knife pointed at him, I start sidestepping toward the front door. He mirrors my movements, staying between me and the exit. You're not leaving, he says, his voice losing its false calm. We're finishing this tonight. My phone, it's still in my other hand. With a movement that feels impossibly clumsy, I raise it, my thumb fumbling for the screen. I don't look down, I can't take my eyes off him. I tap where I hope the emergency call button is. A loud, blaring siren suddenly erupts from the phone's speaker. The emergency SOS feature. I must have triggered it when I silenced the phone earlier. The sudden, piercing sound is shocking in the quiet apartment. Mark flinches, his hands going to his ears for a split second. It's all the opening I need. I don't charge him, I throw the knife. Not at him, but at the floor in front of him. It clatters and skids across the hardwood, and his instinctive focus drops to it, to the dangerous, sliding object. In that moment, I bolt. I sprint for the front door, yank it fully open, and burst into the hallway. Help! I scream, my voice echoing off the concrete walls. Help me, call the police. I don't wait to see if he's following. I run for the stairwell at the end of the hall, not the elevator. The stairs are closer. I slam through the fire door, the sound like a gunshot, and I take the steps 2 and 3 at a time, my socks slipping on the metal edges. I can hear the apartment door bang open behind me and his footsteps pounding in the hall. He's coming. Down, down, down. My lungs burn. The emergency siren is still blaring from my phone. I hit the ground floor door, shove it open, and stumble into the lobby. Mrs. Gable from 2B is there, holding her small dog, her face a mask of alarm. Alex, what in the world? Call 911 now, I gasp, running past her to the main entrance. I hit the bar release and stumble out into the cool night air. I don't stop. I run across the street, toward the all-night convenience store with its bright, beautiful lights. There are people there are cameras. I burst through the door, setting off a chime. The clerk, a guy named Raj who I've seen 1,000 times, looks up from his phone. He sees my face, my wild eyes, my empty hands. Raj, I pant, leaning on the counter. Lock the door, please, and call the police. My ex-boyfriend, he's after me, he's in my apartment. Raj doesn't hesitate. He moves fast, coming around the counter, flipping the lock on the glass door and pulling down the security grate partway. In the back, he says, guiding me toward the stockroom. Sit. Breathe. He picks up the store phone and dials. From the safety of the stockroom, surrounded by boxes of snacks and soda, the adrenaline begins to recede, leaving me trembling violently. I can hear Raj speaking calmly to the dispatcher, giving my name, my address. The sound of sirens grows in the distance, then swells, then stops right outside. Blue and red lights flash through the storefront windows, painting the shelves in pulses of color. The police come into the store. I tell them everything. The gray sedan. The following, the key fob, the things Mark said about my will about my mother. They send officers to my apartment. They find him there, still inside. He hadn't even left. He was waiting, confident I'd come back, or maybe just destroying my laptop. They arrest him. They take my statement for hours. A female officer sits with me, her voice gentle, as I shake apart and then slowly piece myself back together. It's morning by the time I'm allowed to go back, escorted by an officer. My apartment feels alien, violated. But it's mine. I change the locks that afternoon. I call the building manager and report the stolen fob. Mark must have taken mine from my keyring weeks ago, had a copy made. I call my lawyer and tell her everything. She listens, her voice growing colder and sharper with every detail. She tells me we'll get a restraining order. We'll revise everything. We'll make sure my mother is protected in ways I never imagined she'd need to be. A week later, I'm packing a suitcase. Not running this time, going. My mom's sister, my aunt, lives a few states over. I'm going to stay with her for a while, help with my mom. Breathe air that doesn't feel like it's waiting to turn toxic. I'm standing in my now clean, quiet living room, looking at the space on the floor where the knife skidded. There's a faint scratch in the finish. I'll keep it. A reminder. The fear is still there, a low hum under my skin. It probably will be for a long time. But it's not the only thing I feel. Looking out the window at the ordinary street below, I feel something else. Something solid and quiet growing in the space where the terror is slowly receding. It's the feeling of a door closing, locked tight behind me, and in front of me just the open sky.